Hello everyone, very good morning. Welcome to Annamacharya University. Myself, B. Harakrishna. I am doing as a assistant professor from MCA department. Today, my topic is AWS EC2 instances and how we are hosting a static website in AWS cloud. Let us see what is AWS and what is mean by EC2 instances. How we are hosting a static website in AWS cloud. AWS means Amazon Web Services. AWS can offers 200 plus services are there. Those 200 plus services are some services are paid services and some of the services are free services. In coming to EC2 instances, yes, EC2 means Elastic Compute Cloud. It is a Elastic Compute Cloud service. In AWS, EC2 is the most to demand service. We have in AWS 200 plus services are there, right? So those 200 plus services, EC2 is the very demand service, overall services. By using EC2 service to create virtual machines in AWS cloud. So basically EC2 is a regional specific service. A regional specific service. Yes. EC2 instances are EC2 instances are EC2 instances are EC2 instances are resizable service. Resizable services. EC2 instances are resizable service. Depending upon the requirement, we are increasing the number of servers or decreasing the servers. Yes, it is a regional specific service. Regional specific service. That means, for example, here I am launching my virtual server in Northern Virginia. That particular virtual service is only available in Northern Virginia only. So in AWS, it can provide 38 plus launch regions are there. For example, if I'm launching another server in Mumbai region, that particular server is only available in the Mumbai region only. Mumbai region only. That's why it is called as EC2 is a regional specific service. Regional specific service. Yes. Basically, EC2 is a paid service. Basically, EC2 is a paid service. Paid service. But AWS will provide T2 micro instances, T2 micro instances or T3 micro instances, T3 micro instances as freighter eligible customer, as freighter eligible customer, freighter eligible customer, freighter eligible customer can get up to, can get up to, can get up to 750 hours, 750 hours with monthly. So can get up to 750 hours per monthly, per monthly. Yes, up to 6 months validity, up to 6 months validity. Present AWS cloud service can offer the services. We have 6 months validity only. Previous in the month of July 2025. So the account validity is 1 year. Right now, after in the month of July 15th, after then, so AWS account validity is 6 months only. They can provide 200 credits only. 200 credits only right now for new AWS accounts. For new AWS accounts. For example, if you are launching one virtual server in AWS cloud, one virtual server in AWS cloud. So just imagine here, you are practice just 5 minutes. your practice just 5 minutes in the virtual server. But AWS will consider the billing period is billing period is billing period is 1 hour. 1 hour. So basically they can calculate the billing period is per second. Per seconds they can calculate the billing period is some resources are per second, but they can treat it as you can utilize the 5 minutes, they can treat it as 1 hour only. That is the minimum billing period. Minimum billing period. When we launch, when we launch or create, when we launch or create EC2 instances, EC2 instances, AWS will provide will provide default storage will provide default storage and default network default network will be provided by VPC service and storage will be provided by EBS service. So the network will be provided by VPC service, network will be provided by VP service and storage will be provided by EBS volumes. EBS volumes. EBS volumes. Now observe. Now whenever launch virtual instances in AWS cloud, in order to follow the 7 steps, so very first step is name and tag. Very first step is name and tag. Second step is choose AMI. And third step is instance type. Third step is instance type. And fourth one is create a key pair. Create a key pair. And the fifth one is create a network. That means security group. Sixth step is configure storage. We'll configure storage. And finally we have summary or else review. So while launching the virtual instance, in order to perform totally 7 steps are there. Very first one is name and tag and choose AMI, instance type, so create key pair, so create network and configure storage, and finally we have a summary page. So very fast step is yes. Now this is my AWS management console. Then click on instances, launch instances, launch instance. Now very first step is name and tag. So name and tag represents, it specifies the name of the virtual resources. For example, if you are launching 5 virtual server, which servers are used by on which purpose, that it can specify the name and tag. Just I'm giving my server name is web server. My server name is web server. And the second step is choose AMI. AMI means Amazon Mission Image. And AMI is a template that contains the operating system and application servers that are used to launch our virtual instance. Yes. So depending upon the application requirement, project requirement, we are selecting any of the AMI. So currently I am selecting Amazon Linux. Yes, in Linux platform, it will provide 200 plus distributions are there. Currently I am selecting Amazon Linux. AMI is a launch template option that are used to create the virtual resources. And AMI contains operating system, application servers that are used to create the virtual instance. Yes. AMI IDs are differ. AMI IDs are differ from region to region. This is my Amazon Linux AMI ID. Now let's copy this. Let's copy this. Now paste it here. So currently I'm in Northern Virginia, Amazon Linux AMI ID. Now present I'm in Mumbai region. Now go to instances, launch instances. Now observe the same configuration here also available in Mumbai region also. Amazon Linux, Mac OS, Ubuntu, Windows, Red Hat, SUSE Linux, Debian flavor. Now currently I am selecting AMI ID here in Mumbai region. Copy this. Now paste it here. Now AMIDs are differ from region to region. AMIDs are different. AMIDs are different region to region. Configuration is same. The configuration is same, but IDs are unique. Region to region. Region to region. That is the second step. And third step is choose instance type. Choose instance type. Third step is choose instance type. Yes. While launching the instances, in order to select the how many CPUs you want to require for your application, that means we are selecting the server configuration. Server configuration. That means so AWS will provide T2 micro instance as free tier eligible customer. So while selecting T2 micro resources, we will get the one vCPU, so virtual CPU, and we'll get the 1 GB RAM, and you will get the 1 GB RAM. It is a free tier eligible resource. Free tier eligible resource. Instance type is nothing but we will select server configuration. How many CPU you want required? What is the RAM capacity you want to require? That we can select under instance type option. So currently I'm selecting my instance type is T2 micro, T2 micro. And then I'm creating a new key pair. So key pair is nothing but, yes. So public key and private key. So key pair are used for secure login for the our virtual server. Securely login into our virtual environment. Yes. Basically key pairs are two different types. That is public key and private key. Public key and private key. So the private keys are managed by users. Private keys are managed by users and public keys are managed by AWS cloud providers. Again, the private keys are two different types. That is, one is PEM key format and second one is PPK format. PEM means privacy enhanced mail. PPK means putty private key. Putty private key. So PEM key used for connecting any open SH terminals like Mubarak's terminal or as putty software, Git Bash, PowerShell, any other platform for connecting our virtual resources. PPK means putty private key for connecting only putty software. Putty software. Now observe. Next step is let me create key pair first. Let me create key pair first. A my server. My key pair name is my server. So private key format is one is PEM key, one is PP key. So currently I'm selecting PEM. So create a key pair. Create a key pair. The key pair will be downloaded to my local environment. My local environment. My local device will be stored. Yes. Now next step is fifth step is that is network option. Create a network. That means security group. That means security group. Security group is nothing but just like a virtual firewall. Just like a virtual firewall. Security group is nothing but just like a virtual firewall for our virtual instance. Security group will control the incoming traffic and outgoing traffic for our virtual instance. To allow the incoming traffic, we will configure inbound rules. To allow the incoming traffic, we will configure inbound rules. To allow the outgoing traffic, we will configure outbound rules. If you are selecting Linux platform by default type is SH. By default type is SH. Let me create my own secret group. My own secret group. My server HGS. My server HGS. My secret group name. So I need to provide the description also same thing. So my server HGS. So currently I am selecting Linux platform. That's why by default type is SH and the SH default port number is 22. SH means secure shell. Secure shell for connecting to the Linux servers, Linux virtual machines, Linux virtual machines. That is very sixth step. Sorry, fifth step. And next one is sixth one is configure storage. Configure storage. For AWS, free tier eligible customer can get up to 30 GB of storage space by default. For every AWS root account, AWS will provide 30 GB of storage space. Yes, the storage space will be provided by AWS EBS service. EBS means Elastic Block Store. If you are selecting, if you are selecting Linux platform by default storage space, it occupies either 8 GB or 10 GB of storage space. Currently, I am selecting Linux platform, Linux operating system, Amazon Linux. That's why it occupies 8 GB of storage space. 8 GB of storage space. For example, if I am selecting Windows operating system, Windows operating system, by default, it occupies 30 GB of storage space, 30 GB of storage space. Now observe, I am selecting Windows operating system. Now notice here, the configure storage 30 GB, up to 30 GB is free. For example, if I am selecting Mac operating system, it occupies 100 GB of storage space. 100 GB of storage space. Now observe. So it occupies the 100 GB of storage space. If I am selecting Red Hat distribution in Linux platform, it occupies 10 GB of storage space. 10 GB of storage space. Now observe. It is 10 GB of storage space. So while selecting the Linux platform, by default, it occupies either 8 GB or 10 GB. If you are selecting Windows operating system, it occupies 30 GB of storage space. The maximum volume capacity of EBS is 16 terabyte, but free tier eligible customer can get up to which storage space, how much storage space? That is 30 GB of storage space. That is EBS volumes. EBS volumes. And next step is review or else summary page. Whatever the steps we are configure 6 steps, that is review one. That is review one. We are selecting so name and server, very first step is, and then we are selecting Amazon Linux. So instance type, so key pair or key pair name is my server. And next thing we are creating the security group called as my server IGS. Our storage is 8 GB. Now number of instances launching 1. So we are selecting Amazon Linux, that is Amazon Linux 2023 MI. Virtual server type is T2 micro. Our security group is and storage space. Then click on launch instance. Then click on launch instance. Now I'm launching the virtual instance. Now I'm launching the virtual instance. Yes. So now we are connecting to our virtual instance for any terminal. For any terminal. Now go to instances. Now go to instances. My server name is web server. Instance ID here. The instance is running state. Now select my instance. So click on instance ID, copy the public IP address. Currently, I am using Box terminal for connecting my virtual instance. Connecting my virtual instance. So click on sessions. So SH. So public IP address, the default username for Amazon Linux or else Red Hat distributions for CentOS EC2 user. Now upload my PEM key here. My PEM key name is my server. Click on open, click on OK. Click on accept. Now we are able to connecting our virtual instance. Yes. Very first step is now I'm switching into root user. The root user only can execute all the commands. Sudo hyphen I. Sudo means super user do. I means initial login. Now I'm hosting a static website. Now I'm hosting a static website. Yes. Now what is mean by website? Basically, website is nothing but collection of web pages. Collection of web pages. Websites are basically two types. Websites are basically two types. That is static website, and dynamic website, and dynamic website. Static website is nothing but it will give the same response for every login users. The static website are nothing but it will give the same response for every login users. So those websites are called as static website. The content will be fixed content. Dynamic websites are nothing but the content will be displayed on user actions depending upon the user activity. The content will be change depending upon the user actions. And currently I'm logging into Amazon e-commerce and portal. Now I'm selecting a laptop here, so it will show the laptop information. For example, if I'm selecting a mobiles, I'm searching for list of mobiles. I'm searching for list of mobiles. The content will be displayed depending upon the my query. So these kind of websites are called as dynamic website. Dynamic website. Here we are hosting a static website. So we will configure web servers. We will configure web servers. In Linux platform, we have different types of web servers are there. That is Apache web server and NGINX web server. NGINX web server. Both these web server runs on 80 default port number. Apache web server and NGINX web server, both servers runs on 80 default port number. Yes, let me install my Apache web server. So now I'm trying to install the Apache web server. Yes, yum install httpd -y. So while installing the web server package, so it will download it automatically without user confirmation. The package will be installed. That's why I'm using -y. Yum is a package manager. Now I'm trying to install the Apache web server. So yum is nothing but yellow dog update modifier. Yes, the package will be installed. Let me start my Apache web service. Systemctl start web service. My web service name is HTTPD. So hypertext stands for protocol demand service. So let me check the status of my Apache web server. Yes, status of Apache web server. The service is active and running. The Apache service is active and running. Now let's jump on my Apache document directory. The Apache document directory root path is var/www/html. Let me access my Apache server whether it is activated or not. Now go to my server, copy the public IP address, just provide in the web browser. Yes, we are getting error. Why? What is the reason? The reason is we need to allow the inbound roles. So the web server runs on which port number? 80. We need to allow the traffic. Now go to the security group. Still it is processing. Yes, my web server. Now I'm getting the site cannot be reached error, right? So click on edit inbound rules. Now I need to allow the incoming traffic for our virtual instance. Now I'm selecting all traffic here. So 0 to 65,536 port numbers I'm enabling it here. So anyway, so click on save rules here. Now go to my web browser. So click on refresh. It's showing it works. The Apache server is running. So I don't want to need default content. I need my own content. So let me create one file, index.html. Index.html. Now in order to provide some HTML script here, So I've already created some HTML script. Let's copy this. Let paste it here. Let paste it here. So let me save this. Let me save this. Now go to the web browser. So click on refresh here. Now we are able to access my application. Now we are able to access my application. Yes. This is how we are hosting a website in AWS Cloud. AWS Cloud. Yes. EC2 means virtual instances. That means elastic compute cloud. And we are hosting a static website. So thank you.